10 and short. Mateo literally sitting on the moon. Ramon Arias playing second base.
It was fun going to games again. It was fun feeling the energy of the yard. And I'm ready for the next step.
They're all exciting pieces. And, I mean, you could look at a lot of lineups this year and you could really feel good about the game. And I don't think we could say that for the last few years. Hey guys, welcome back to the Talking Birdie podcast. It is not Ryan today hosting. It is me, Josh, and Ryan is apparently at something going on with the Mother's Day. I don't know what that is, what exactly it is. He might join us later for the draft. We'll see. Send him the invite, but yeah, we're here. We took a week break after we could not get together last week. I was in North Carolina, and Ryan and Brad can make the call to the pen. but other than that, we are back running through a few topics. 2 weeks of Orioles baseball. Brad, how you doing?
Oh, just living the dream, man. I think we could have, but I think we were under the impression, I don't know. I thought maybe we were both thinking we could do the next night or Wednesday, and then, I don't know, it didn't end up working out, so... Yeah, we let a lot of people down. I know there's been a lot of sad faces in Birdland. Yeah, the Orioles have been doing great, but we've been without Talking Birdie for, what, 3 weeks? No, 2 weeks now?
2 weeks, yeah. Well, I texted Ryan on Monday morning, and I was like, so did you guys record last night? And he's like, forgot.
Oopsies. Sorry, folks. You're going to have to deal with it. But we're back, so.
We're back.
Yeah, man. Just same old shit, doing my thing. What's good with you?
I always think I have a lot to say prior to us getting on, and then you ask me, and then I forget.
I just fucking hate it, man.
North Carolina trip was cool. Saw a bunch of other guys doing it's like a leadership type conference. It was a good time though. I got to sleep in like a tiny little twin bunk bed for a couple nights, but our room luckily had a shower and tub or toilet in it, so I didn't have to use like the community one, so that was clutch. But yeah, other than that, things are rolling right along. Might start a new job soon, but
might start a new job. Wow.
Might start a new job.
Maybe I will too. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I had an opportunity come up where I might be able to double my salary, so I will take that.
All right, where are you moving to this time, bud?
It's actually more similar to my last job. I worked for a beverage company, let's say, as a just merchandiser, and this is more similar to that than my current property management job. I would be doing like a sales rep kind of in retail space a little bit, but less so work intensive, I guess.
Right on, man.
They make decent money.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, hoping for the best for you, brother.
Thank you. I'll know by next episode.
Yep. Eventually when this thing takes off, we won't have to work regular jobs, right?
That's for sure. Yeah. Everyone else I've talked to that does Orioles podcast, that's really paying off for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're super rich, man. We're just trying to catch up to all of them.
I think Bird's Eye View said I think I've made 0 cents from a podcast in the last 8 years.
I think we're ahead of that, actually, aren't we? Now that
we have like a couple books every episode rolling in. We haven't hit the threshold where there's like a minimum threshold where if we hit like I think $10 or something, then I can deposit money. We haven't quite hit that yet. So.
Wow, dude!
Right there.
I hear that number and it just I don't know, man. We're not there yet, but it just makes me feel some kind of way. Like it makes me see the future of living on the beach with mansions and tons of beautiful women, and it's just I'm dreaming, man. I'm dreaming right now. So anyone out there listening in, help us get to that number that we need to get to. We don't even really know what it is, but just help us get there, all right?
Yeah, and we're an open book here. We'll just release the financials on the show.
We sure will. Yeah,
we're in the red. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But other than that, the Orioles played baseball games of the last 2 weeks. So we have 4 series go on since our last episode. Kansas City series win against them. That wasn't really much. It happened like a week and a half ago, so I don't really remember too much from it. But it felt handily. Tight losses to Atlanta. We'll come back to this a little bit. Lost the series 2-1 though. And then we ended up taking 2 of 3 from Tampa, best team in baseball. So we had back-to-back series against the top 2 teams in baseball. And we have since hurdled Atlanta actually in that title, and we just have Tampa, who just happens to be in our division. And then today we took I guess we lost today, but we took the series over Pittsburgh 2-1. So good couple weeks of ball, just one series loss against a pretty good Atlanta team. So yeah, any thoughts on these last couple games, this couple series?
I will say, going back to the Royals series, that last game where we led 8-1,
oh my gosh,
and then blew it, and then still ended up winning. I was just wanting to take a nap at the end of that one, man.
I was watching that one at work, and it just felt like it took forever. I think I started watching it I think the game started at 3:00 or something like that, and I was leaving work at 6, and the game was still going on, going back and forth, and I was like, I just want this to end. It's just not a good watch anymore.
Yeah, and then we move on to the Atlanta series and kind of dominated game 1 actually, and then really had the opportunities to win games 2 and 3, and kind of let them slip away because Atlanta did what they do with their great team, and they took advantage. It just kind of sucked in game 2 that the guy that beat us, it wasn't like it was Ronald Acuna or Matt Olson or sorry, is it Matt Olson?
Matt Olson, yeah.
And then Austin Riley. Yeah, it wasn't any of those guys that beat us. Or Ozzy Albies. It was. Isn't it just Pilar?
I think it's probably Pilar.
Because he's a white guy. He's not Hispanic.
Yeah, PR.
Yeah, fucking Kevin Pilar, 34 years old.
Jeez.
Boom, 8th inning. And then the next day we lost in extras. Lost game 1 to Tampa, but then bounced back nicely, won 4 in a row, and then dropped today's game against Pittsburgh. But, it is what it is. You just got to give a tip of the cap to Keller, who pitched a hell of a game for Pittsburgh. So you're not going to win all of them. So you can't get too down about the loss. Overall, the situation we're in right now is pretty ideal. We couldn't have asked for much better. I would have signed up for 26-14 in the first 40 games if you asked me that before the season. So happy with where things are at right now. Obviously, a few things I would want to see change, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I have a section highlighted out for that. For the Pittsburgh series, Mitch Keller's had a really good season so far, and he Ks 13 of us today. I think we only had 3 hits off him, and he was the one that you kind of circled at the beginning of the series. It's probably going to be tough to win all 3, but pretty even series actually for the most part. I was telling my buddy Brett, who's a Pirates fan, they played a pretty decent series for them kind of having a surprise start to the season. I think yesterday was 2-0. Today was 4-0. And then when we beat them in game 1, it was come from behind bullpen victory. So, overall pretty close games. So they played us better than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Takeaway from the Braves series. I didn't actually get to watch any of it, much like the Pirates series, because I'm blacked out in Pittsburgh. I saw people writing home that it was a terrible series. We shouldn't be happy at all with the way we played and stuff. And that may be true because we still lost the series, but we just we played a very decent series against the other best team in baseball. They're probably World Series contenders again this year. We still played, we're pretty new to this whole competing thing. So I'm not super down about losing that series, especially since we went back and won 2 out of 3 from the Rays.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never going to celebrate losing 2 out of 3, but it wasn't anything that was we're doomed or anything along those lines. It's going to happen in baseball. We'll even drop some series probably against some subpar teams at some point this year. That's just kind of how it goes. So we went neck and neck with them. We could have taken 2 out of 3. We could have swept them if things went our way, but we dropped 2 out of 3 and then went along. If you had told me going into the 6-game stretch of Atlanta and Tampa Bay that we would go 3-3 and 2 of the wins were against Tampa Bay, hell yeah, I would have signed up for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tampa's this strangely good giant this year. They're very annoying. They beat the Yankees today 8-7, kind of a come from behind. I don't know if they came from behind. They just held off the Yankees, but Yankees at least walked them off yesterday. But yeah, that's just a tough team to beat right now. Taylor Walls is hitting he has a 1,000 OPS. It's insane. But yeah, as long as we can kind of hold our own against teams like that, the rest of the season's going to go real nice. And you just got to beat the bad teams. It's usually how most teams get to the playoffs, and they did that. Beat KC, beat Pittsburgh. Cedric Mullins had a cycle in Pittsburgh or against Pittsburgh.
He sure did.
Yep. He's had a good month of May. I just had a couple other little notes on the last couple weeks here. Jorge Mateo has fallen from very high platform that he started out at in April. I tweeted it out yesterday as before today's game. So it's probably lower now, actually. But his OPS at the start of May was over 1,000. I think it was like 1.062 or something. After yesterday's game, he was under 800.
Under it? I thought it was like in the low 800s.
Under 800. He was at 790 to start today.
Oh, so you and Ryan are having a good time, huh?
You know, you don't like seeing one of your own players do badly, but if there was a guy, you know, it's probably him. I saw some people saying we should extend him after April. Stop.
No.
No.
We are loaded. I don't hate him on the level you guys do, but we're loaded at middle infield prospects, man. I mean, there's no reason to extend Jorge Mateo. Absolutely not.
No, he should be on the bench. But
I don't mind if we hold on to him as a bench guy and he starts occasionally.
Sure.
Pinch runs, comes in on defense. But yeah, I think we have better options in the long term. So
yeah, and they brought Ortiz back today.
Yeah. But as we know, he's not the guy I have the biggest beef with.
I know. We can touch on that right now, actually. So I had this queued up for later. I had written down Colton Cowser's tearing up Norfolk, but how do we get him in the Baltimore lineup? This applies to Jordan Westburg as well. I know what you would do with a certain second baseman veteran signing.
The butthole?
Yeah, the butthole. That picture with your mom.
That my grandma?
Your grandma, yeah. That was top notch.
Yeah, my grandma, her memory's leaving her a little bit, but I kept telling her we don't like Adam Frazier. He's the butthole. And she was like, oh, Bradley, I'm never going to remember this. I wrote it down on a little Post-it note for her. Adam Frazier is the butthole with a heart around it. And then I wrote on another one, promote Westburg. We took a nice little Mother's Day picture. My mom's actually out of town right now with my dad. So I just went over to my grandparents for Mother's Day to watch the game.
That's a good time. Yeah. That's a good little picture, too. I like that one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Where'd your parents go?
Somewhere in North Carolina, and they're on their way back today. So we're doing our Mother's Day celebration with them next week.
Okay, I see.
Yep.
Do you know where in North Carolina?
Jefferson or something. West Jefferson. I don't know where I ever heard of something like that.
Okay. I was down in like the Asheville area last weekend.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what part it's in. I didn't even look it up, which means I'm a terrible son. But you know.
Terrible. You don't even know where your parents are.
Somewhere in North Carolina. Shout out to those who are listening in from West Jefferson, which I may or may not have made the name of that town up. I don't know.
It's possible we have listeners there because there's some Orioles fans that's kind of in that in-between area where they're kind of far away from Atlanta, but they're close enough to D.C. and Baltimore.
And yeah, it's nothing against West Jefferson. I love the place. I did look it up. It is a real place. That's where my parents were. Oh, and it looks beautiful. There's state parks around there. There's mountains. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely go there. Yeah, shout out to West Jefferson. I think that might need to be a weekend getaway.
Friend of the pod, West Jefferson City Council.
Yep. I apologize to the West Jefferson residents for questioning your existence because it looks like a beautiful town.
It sounds like a TV show town, like West Jefferson. Yep. West Jefferson High.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm picturing the TV show, you know, with all the guys in their Letterman jackets, and you know, you got the goth kids, you got the nerds, you got everything at West Jefferson High. You know, anything goes at West Jefferson High.
What color is the first pair of colors that came to mind for their varsity jackets?
For some
school colors.
For some reason, red and blue.
Red and blue, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
I had like gold and navy blue. That feels like the high school combo for TV.
Okay.
It's also a solid combo.
Yeah. What colors were your high school, Josh?
We were in royal blue and white, and it was a very, very good duo to have. Those are some of my favorite combinations. Like I love the Kansas City Royals jerseys and all that. A couple colleges have those colors. So, you know, I'm very blessed in that regard. All my merch was that color. So what was yours?
Ours was black and gold.
Black and gold. Good combo as well.
Yes, sir. Wait, so what colors did you say?
Royal blue and white.
No, for West Jefferson.
Oh, for West Jefferson, I had like navy blue and gold. So
it looks like they are brown and gold. West Jefferson High. Yep.
Okay. Baldwin Wallace University in Berea, Ohio. It's where the Browns practice. They have the same colors.
Okay. All right.
Real small school,
Yep.
but they have some pretty good baseball jerseys. They're like the Padres newer jerseys, I guess.
Okay. And we're teaching a lot of people a lot of new things about high schools.
What's their student population?
What, West Jefferson?
No, West Jefferson, yeah.
Oh, geez. I don't know, man.
It's usually on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, is it? Let's see.
I'll see if I can beat you to it.
I'm guessing it's not much just based on the pictures I saw of the town.
So I have Ashe County High School is actually the name of the school. Did you get that?
Really?
Or are there two schools?
I see a West Jefferson Rough Riders.
Oh, interesting. There's also they're located in West Jefferson. They're the West Jefferson Huskies. They're purple, white, and gray.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to dig a little deeper on this.
Their enrollment's 875, which is like 200 per class. So semi-small.
Pretty small, yeah. Anybody from West Jefferson, send us a tweet. Let us know. Yeah, keep us filled in on the details.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And remember, go Rough Riders.
Go Rough Riders.
Yeah, exactly.
Go Huskies. That's a small town. There's only 1,300 people there. Anyway, we're off topic.
A little bit. That's all right.
I also wrote down Mullins and Adley Hot Weeks. We basically already touched on that. Adley is scorching right now. Pretty good series against the Pirates to follow it up. Tyler Wells also leads the MLB in WHIP.
Wow, I actually did not know that. I learned something new right there. Yeah, man. He's been pretty great. A lot of people thought he was kind of the odd man out in the rotation coming into this year. Right now, he's kind of the one guy you can't get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of this as well. I thought Gibson would be a little bit better. We all thought Cole Irvin would work out much better than being demoted. But
we did. Things change in baseball throughout the course of a year, so I'm not going to say he's done, but it's not a great start.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, I was ready to demote Dean Kramer to AAA, and he's kind of turned it around since then. And Grayson's trying to get through his early season stuff, and rotation's kind of unorthodox right now. You got a lot of guys who haven't quite settled in, but Tyler Wells is the only one that you can definitively say has. He's been great so far, and I was trying to think. Oh, Bradish is the other one. He's been better. He's settling in a little bit, but still like all ERAs over 4, and then Tyler Wells is sitting there with like I think a 2.6, something like that.
Yeah, is that good?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Leads MLB in WHIP.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll definitely take that.
Yeah, 100%.
I wonder if he's got Cy Young odds right now. I'll have to look that up.
You will have to look that up, actually. It's interesting bet. I think the other names around him, like the one in second place is not a very notable guy, and then like the rest is like Gallen, Cole, Sonny Gray's down there because he's having a good year. But yeah. Good company.
I'd say so.
Yeah, and I was not able to watch a lot of these series, but the stats kind of reflect, I guess, what people are thinking a little bit. But I saw a lot of discussion around whether or not Gunnar Henderson should be demoted to AAA.
He's a loser, dude. He's a total loser.
Never amount to anything.
Yeah, get rid of him. Don't just demote him. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, bro's hitting under 200. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't agree with that sentiment at all.
Meanwhile, the same people that say that love Adam Frazier. So
typically, yes.
Yeah.
Or they like Jorge Mateo.
There you go. So what's that tell you?
I think even with his great start, his OBP is down to like 315 right now for Mateo.
Yeah.
Which is notably low, like 45 points lower than Gunnar right now. Despite hitting under 200.
Sounds about right, man.
It's my small rant on that. Wanting to demote Gunnar, stupid.
100%, dude. He's got probably the highest ceiling hitting wise of anyone on the team, I think. So, yeah,
probably fair.
Let him figure it out.
Yep, and he's what 20. He'll be 22 in June, I think. He'll be fine.
Like, calm down, people.
And he like tore it up last year, so I don't get it.
Yeah, you still with me?
Yeah,
I got you back.
Okay, cool. You cut out a little bit.
Cool.
So we'll move on to this debate I'm sure you're interested in having. How do we get Westburg or Cowser into the everyday lineup? I think it's a little easier for Westburg's situation, but we can kind of discuss both because they're both hitting over 1,000 OPS in AAA.
Well, is the question, what would I do or what do I think they would do? Because I think you know what I would do.
Fine balance of both. You're not allowed to DFA Adam Frazier. They're simply just not going to do that. But you can kind of move around most of the other names pretty easily. You can hypothetical trade it however you want to do it.
Right. I mean, that's obviously what I would do. I would DFA Adam Frazier, but for the purpose of discussion, you can get rid of O'Hearn. First of all, he's taking up a roster spot. I know he doesn't play middle infield, but he's DHing some. So you can get rid of O'Hearn. You can DH one of the infield. I mean, that would end up with them DHing Adam Frazier, but hell, Arias has played first bases, but if you got to play a couple games of Westburg at first base, that's not his long-term solution, but you can find ways to get him in the lineup, man. Use the DH, use first base, bench the butthole for a game or two here and there. Get creative with it. You don't have to do the same thing every game. Get rid of O'Hearn and do that.
I think they are codependent answers. So to get Cowser and Westburg in the lineup, you have to move a lot of guys around because we don't even have the playing time right now. Urias is on the 10-day IL, so you get a little leeway there. But Austin Hayes has to go, man. He's playing pretty well to start the year, but his career numbers don't really point to much of a higher ceiling than this. His defense is slipping. He's not that fast. And he's a righty in Baltimore, so it's not gonna. I don't know. There's not a lot of long-term good there, I guess, especially with Cowser mashing at AAA. I think you can get something of a return for him, whether that's a relief arm or a AAA bat or whatever it may be. But I honestly don't even care what we get back for him because the freedom of that roster spot means more.
You want to make room for Cowser. And Cowser, honestly, Cowser probably has the highest ceiling of anyone that's still in our farm system hitting-wise, I think. I think Westburg is pretty close, but Cowser is just absolutely torn up at every level, man. Yeah, you got to find a way. Getting rid of Hayes is one way. The other way, I said get rid of O'Hearn to make room for Westburg, but if we're only calling one of them up, you could also get rid of O'Hearn, call up Cowser, and DH Santander, play Cowser in the outfield.
Oh, yeah, I'm not done yet. So we got to trade Hayes, do that before the deadline. Then you can kind of play with Adam Frazier in the outfield a little bit, but you can mainly just 1-for-1 Hayes and Cowser. I think you need to trade Stowers. There's really no room for him. I don't know how that trade would work out. I don't know what his value even is, but I feel like you have to move Stowers because you have Cowser coming, you have Kjerstad coming. Stowers is hitting like 60, an average of 062 this year. He's got nothing left to learn in AAA, but they just can't get at bats for him. And you'd probably get rid of him over McKenna because McKenna's like an actual fourth outfielder. Like that's his peak. That's his potential, just fourth outfielder. And with that flexibility of getting rid of Stowers and Hayes, you now open up room for Cowser to play up there full time, and you can let Frazier go out there since they're not going to move him this year. And while Urias is still injured, you can kind of use Westburg in there a lot of the time. And, you can kind of platoon with Gunnar, I think, would be a good option. Mateo as well. So I think there is a pathway to make it happen, but a lot of things have to happen. And, guys like Urias will still have to be here, I guess. You figure out what you do with that. But, yeah, between that, Westburg probably deserves it more over Norby and Ortiz right now. No question. But you're going to have to find playing time for these guys eventually, and something in the depth chart's got to give.
Yeah, and at some point, some of these prospects are going to get traded too. I don't know who it's going to be, but there's not room for all of them. So I just hope it's for someone who's an actual solid return, not some average Joe with a 4.5 career ERA or something like that.
We'll say Yennier Cano was one of those guys for us for a short time.
Well, yeah, but he had not had a very large sample in the major leagues, and he was good in the minors. Aging, but
yeah, he's killing it up there.
I'm talking about I don't want another Jordan Lyles or Kyle Gibson.
Jordan Lyles leads baseball in home runs given up right now.
I love that for him.
I think he's at 13.
That's so great for him.
Yeah, tremendous stuff from him.
Yep, that means he's putting it in the right spots. His accuracy is on point.
Yes, sir. So looking ahead here, we have the Angels series in LA, and then I believe we go to Toronto the week after that. So 4-game set versus the Angels, 3-game set against Toronto. Wrap up on Sunday afternoon. So two teams who have had pretty much the same start. I think they're both over 20 wins at this point. LA's pitching is what we know it is, but they are hitting right now. And then Toronto's kind of had a good mix of everything going, but they're in the AL East too. So they have not. It doesn't really reflect it as much in the record, but they'd probably be a second place team in most divisions.
Or first.
Or first in some divisions. I'd have to look at that. But yeah, I believe they're in firmly third place. Boston and New York's kind of trading, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, but those two aren't very. I mean, it depends on your definition of firmly. Yeah, sole possession, but not. I mean, they have maybe a 1-game lead.
Let me confirm before I just start saying stuff.
Yeah.
So it's currently Tampa, Baltimore, Toronto, Boston, New York. Baltimore's 4 games back, Toronto's 6 games back, Boston and New York tied. Right now?
Yeah. Any way possible. Like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like they ruined our base.
Okay.
Anyway, what do we got going on?
I don't know. I'll find out in a few minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the series coming up, and then I was going to let you run through minor league updates, and then we'll just throw out the fantasy numbers real quick. Half of the fantasy numbers.
Okay. I mean, I don't have all the minor league stuff up in front of me, but the most important thing to know is Cowser's killing it, Westburg's killing it, Norby's doing all right, Ortiz was doing pretty well. Did I say Kerstad yet? Kerstad's killing it in Double-A. And Jackson Holiday has a 900-something OPS to start out in Aberdeen. And Sammy Basayo has close to a 900 OPS in Delmarva. Gene Pinto has a low 2 ERA, so that's a good sign because he had kind of a meh year last year. Unfortunately, our boy Drew Robb never got to make an appearance with the O's. He's back in AAA, but he's got good numbers down there, so hopefully we'll see him back up again soon. But those are really the key names to keep an eye on right now, so I'm not going to go too much in depth on everything else.
Yeah, I saw Prieto had I think he's starting over 900 OPS, same for Mayo, so those guys are doing well to start the year. Prieto really needs it.
Yeah.
It's cool from Mayo. I think he's 21 years old, so if he can end up in AAA by the end of the year, that's Gunnar Henderson type of air. They
need to promote some guys to make room for him.
Exactly. We need to trade some guys to make room for him. But yeah,
go.
That's what's going on. And so you graded me right on the draft.
Yep, I sure did, Josh.
Alrighty, I did Ryan. So what was your breakdown of the numbers? I'll do mine, and since Ryan's not here, we will draft off air probably, and announce the winner and stuff off air. But we at least have 2 of the 3 scores.
All right. I will start with Gunnar Henderson. He put up 37.4 points. Heston Kjerstad, 60.67 points. Kyle Gibson, 9 points. And Colton Cowser, 101.79. Hot fire. So your total is 208.86.
Okay, that's carried by Cowser, but not bad from the other guys. Gibson let me down a little bit. Ryan's breakdown, he had Westburg, Wells, Basayo, Urias. Westburg got him 90.1 points. Tyler Wells got him 62 points. He had 3 wins, so we reward wins here. I kind of like that. Basayo got 48.6, and then Urias with the injury still put up 38.5, brought his total to 239.2. So we will await yours, but I think Ryan probably cleared you. You had Holiday, Wagner, Rom, Mountcastle.
Are you going to emphasize like 10 times that I definitely didn't win this time? Like you did last time? You kept saying, yeah, so Brad definitely didn't win. Yeah,
Brad
I mean,
definitely
didn't because he had him. Yeah, definitely didn't win. So, yeah, I mean, you got Ryan, you got me, but Brad definitely didn't win.
I'll be a little nicer this time.
You were so casual about it too. It's not like you were throwing shade. You just kept.
Brad just didn't win.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, stop saying definitely. Oh,
Give me a chance.
It was because I think we didn't even bother calculating mine because I was clearly behind the other two. So,
well, Ryan blew me out of the water, and I had some pretty decent performers because I had Rutschman, Mountcastle, Hall, Cowser, and you had Westburg, Gunner, Irvin, Norby. I don't think any of those guys did anything spectacular in that frame of time. And then Ryan had Mullins, who popped off. Kerstad had a great start to the year. Drew Rom's been killing it in AAA, and then Jackson Holiday got promoted, so we kind of had no shot.
Yeah, well, he got promoted and he still hit pretty well. So,
but before Brian's points were calculated in the Delmarva times.
Oh yeah, right.
He rolled us, but yeah. On that, do you have anything else? Because that's all we got for tonight. Cover some recent stuff, cover some upcoming series, but other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a quicker episode, but
we
hit on the key points. And if anyone has a problem with that, you can come see me.
Yeah, the soundboard alone adds about 20 minutes. So
yeah, right.
There goes that. All right, guys, thanks for listening this week. We'll catch you next week with all three, hopefully, in attendance. Happy Mother's Day, folks, and catch you next time.